Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds as though I'm very low. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for coming out. My name is Natasha Duncan, and I'm a professor in the Political Science Department. Even though I have been... That's my sound effect, sorry. Okay, so again, thank you for coming. And before we introduce the guest speaker, I'd like to take some time to talk about the reasoning behind this evening. And this evening's program, entitled Freedom Denied, is in keeping with Mercyhurst University's academic theme for the academic year 2012 to 2013, which is freedom. My colleague and I, Dr. Rolf Peterson, basically thought about this issue of freedom, right? This theme of freedom and what it means. And we believe that if you think about freedom, it has various meanings to different groups, depending on what might be the source of oppression or constraint. And when we think about freedom in this way, the prison industrial complex, or the criminal justice system, is one of those areas that we can explore as it relates to this theme. One of the most pressing issues in American society is the criminal justice system. And it's a system which many argue is facing a number of challenges in regards to mass incarceration rates and the number of minorities that are imprisoned within this system. When we think about the criminal justice system, when we think about the prison system in general, it's indeed a symbol of freedoms denied, since people are incarcerated, right? So that's their source of oppression or source of constraint. So as such, our program this evening, Freedom Denied, as we have entitled it, examines the prison industrial complex in the United States, a system which incarcerates the largest number of people globally, right? Even more than China. When we think about China, we often associate it with being a place in which there are few civil or political liberties. But yet still, the United States, which tends to be this beacon of freedom, incarcerates the largest number of people compared to any other country around the world. What is quite interesting and about the U.S. Prison system as well is that it comprises a majority-minority population. Let me say that again. It comprises a majority-minority population. And what this means is that the vast number of prison inmates are people of color. So although these populations might constitute a minority of the general population in the U.S., when we look at the percentage of minorities represented in prison, in the sense of those individuals who are in prison, we find that they make up the majority in the U.S. So to shed light on this issue, particularly the issue of race and the prison crisis in the United States, we've invited Mr. Bryonn Bain to come this evening and share with us his work as it relates to, once again, the topic of race and the prison crisis in the U.S. Before I go further, I would like to take a couple minutes just to recognize a few departments and individuals who made this evening happen, right, through their generous support. And so we'd like to thank the Department of Political Science, my colleagues who helped putting together this program, the Criminal Justice Department, the English Department, Dr. Tom Forstoffel, the Poet Laureate of Erie County, the Evelyn Lincoln Institute for Ethics and Society, and the Marion Shane Multicultural Center. So I know all of you here to see Mr. Bain, but before we do so, we have a special treat. And upon invitation by Mr. Bain, we have one of our very own students, Tyler Jolie, who will share his work, his poetry, and he will be performing this evening a piece entitled Kali Yuga. let me tell you a bit about Mr. Jolie. Tyler Jolie is from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. He's a senior in the English department, and he's concentrating in creative writing. Tyler enjoys writing poetry and short fiction, and thoroughly enjoys presenting it to an audience in the hopes that it will, at the very least, make people think. To make them reconsider a previously held or conceived notion, or to realize that their perspective is just that, a perspective. So please join me in welcoming Tyler by giving him a round